guys, I'm here with Gerry and we are having an amazing topic today about authenticity. But first, before we start to speak, would you like to introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Gerry. I'm an acupuncturist, life coach, NLP practitioner, spiritual counsellor as well, and just a general multidisciplinary practitioner. Yeah. And come from Ireland, been living in Sweden the last 4 years, and it's been a very interesting journey here the last 4 years, but it's all good. Yeah.
It's good when you travel around. You see a lot of different cultures and the way people are.
Absolutely, you get different perspective.
Yeah.
The whole time, absolute insight to the human psyche, the collective psyche.
Yeah.
So it's very good for the mind, very good for the spirit.
Exactly. And what was so cool, because I went here to get needles for my back and for my leg, and we started to talk about this topic of being authentic and really living your truth. And when we're not living the truth, what is going on, then we start to create pain and stuff because we're kind of blocking ourselves.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean the hardest thing for anyone is to be truthful.
Yeah.
You know, and what goes on from my experience of observing patients and people, what happens is the reason is the unconscious childhood belief. If you say something, you're going to get punished or put in a corner, or a series of consequences. So people then go by a belief, oh, it's better to say nothing and keep the peace. When in truth, deep down, there is no peace in you when you don't express your truth, how you're feeling and what is. You know, and that creates so much conflict within oneself and relationships. So it doesn't serve.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why we're in such a state.
Yeah.
You know, going along with this condition, this belief system.
Yeah.
That it's better to keep your mouth shut and say nothing. That has to change. You know,
it
really has to change in a very radical way for everybody.
Yeah, because we come here to the earth being unique. And then we don't live in that uniqueness. So we're all living in a lie until we wake up and realizing that, okay, we gotta be ourselves. And it's kind of interesting how things manifest when we... Yeah,
that's the paradox. You know, it's kind of like a spiritual amnesia.
Yeah.
You know, so we do go through life learning who you are not first.
Yes.
Through the whole conditioning that has been going on for centuries. But then you get to the point, this is not who I am. Now I choose to be who I really am. And that can be that is taking you out of your complete and utter comfort zone, which only a certain percentage of people will do.
Yeah.
And that takes great courage, great integrity, great passion. It takes all of you, 100%, to be absolutely free. Inwardly.
Yeah, and that is where we gain the true power. And you were saying something about control. Most of us would really want to have that control. Yeah,
you see, it's an interesting topic because everyone wants to be perfect.
Yeah.
And nobody's perfect. Absolutely nobody, including me. Yes, nobody. But I'll tell you, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
But you always aim to be a better version than you were yesterday. But everyone's trying to control everything. And the more you try to control it, the more crazy your life is going to be. Now, the paradox of it, the moment you let go of control, you have control.
And how do you really explain that? What does it mean?
It means trusting in oneself, quite simply. Trusting in the environment you're in, trusting that everything's going to be okay, trusting that you're okay, and responding in a mature, responsible way. As you can see, someone that wants to control everything, they become very erratic. You know, because they think everything is in control. I've got control, but that control is controlling you. The control is the control.
We limit ourselves.
Yeah, you limit yourself. But but if you respond, you have the absolute control of the situation. Now, there are things out of your control as well. You can't control everything, but once you respond as a mature person, you got it. And not becoming overly emotionally erratic about it.
And that is something I remember we spoke about that the first time I was here. about being responsible, that we always have a choice. Because it's so easy, even though I made a massive move in my life, and I really thought I was, you know, really making choice all the time, and when we spoke I kind of realized I didn't, and there were certain things I didn't make choices, or I thought I didn't make choices. So what about a victim mentality and really making choices?
Yeah, that was your unconscious choice.
Yes.
Your whole unconscious reality. But the fact that you became aware of that changed it radically.
Yeah.
And you see, a lot of people go along with this belief, visualizing the light and all that will you'll attain more awareness. You won't. You have to sit with your shadow. You have to sit with the fear.
Yeah.
And accept that behind all that fear is the key to your freedom.
Yeah.
Once you face it, there's no point in running from it or analyzing it or judging it.
Yeah.
You have to sit with it and look at it.
Yeah.
And embrace it.
Yeah. That is something super cool. So I woke up with anxiety like every single morning since I did this massive move in my life, and that was the only time the anxiety had a chance to talk to me, because I wasn't running in the morning. And then I faced it. So I started to write to the anxiety in my journal, and I really asked it, why are you here? What do you want to show me?
Yeah.
And that anxiety really said, like, Linda, you just gotta listen, tune in to what is going on inside. And then I just heard that voice, like, just hold my hands. And I really did that in a meditation. I was holding my own hands, and that created something really sacred. It just felt so safe. So I've been doing that every night when I go to bed now. I'm really holding my own hands, and for 5 mornings I'm waking up feeling good, and it's just a blessing.
Yeah, yeah.
So from just facing that anxiety and really asking why it was there.
Yeah.
So how quickly it can change.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to engage. If you're going to be mature, if you're going to be empowered, you have to face these things.
Yeah.
And take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Instead of running from it, because it's going to keep chasing you.
Yeah. And it ends up physically, right?
Yeah, physical, psychological, spiritual, financial, all sections in your life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it affects everything.
Yeah.
But the more you run from it, the more it runs after you.
Yeah.
If you resist, it persists.
Yeah.
We just turn around and take a look at it.
Yeah.
That fear is actually paradoxically your freedom.
Yeah.
Once you face it.
Because when you face it, you unblock it, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You turn it.
Yeah.
You change it.
Yeah.
And one has to take a responsibility for what they have created as well. You can't put that person put the fear of God in me, that person put the fear in me. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You choose to respond or react. Or do you want to be an adult, or you want to be a child?
Yeah. Yeah. No, we gotta ask ourselves that all the time.
Yeah.
And I find myself asking myself that, like, all the time. To actually be a grown-up.
Yeah.
And responsible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And empowerment only comes via responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
By owning it. Every part of it.
Yeah. And something that I thought was really interesting, because you asked me about relationships, and we kind of discovered that I never learned how to have a healthy relationships. And that was probably because I didn't have a healthy relationship with myself either, because I didn't know myself. So I'm dating myself now, which is interesting. But you said, like, about being authentic again. So when you are authentic, then you can set healthy boundaries. So would you like to explain a bit of that?
Yeah. You see, I observe everybody is craving to be authentic.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And more in love with the idea rather than the reality of it.
Yeah.
Because yet again, to be authentic is to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And everyone's going, I'm an individual. You're not an individual. You're not.
Yeah.
You're just going along with a pattern. You're being a sheep.
Yeah.
You know, there's no individual. We're all one. We're all one collective movement here.
Yeah.
Do you know? But if one can be unique and authentic and lead by example to bring the authenticity out of another, then you're really hitting the real self.
Yeah. Yeah.
The authentic, unshakable self.
It is almost like when you start to become true, and like really understand your own values and get to know them like on the core, then you all of a sudden start to attract people who are exactly
it's
like that.
It's a natural law.
Yeah.
You know, it's a natural law.
Yeah.
Authenticity brings out authenticity.
Yeah.
Bullshit brings out bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But when you're being really authentic, I don't know if you've ever, the experience of it. Have you ever noticed when you're being that authentic, people who ain't authentic just disappear?
They disappear. Yes. You don't even see them.
You know, and maybe one or two might try and provoke that.
Yeah.
But they're at nothing because you hold your integrity.
Yeah.
You know, because you have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Or looking for approval of your authenticity.
Yeah.
Because don't look for that approval.
Yeah.
Or don't fight it. Accept it.
Because so many of us, we do that. That it's like because we don't in the core, like we don't feel lovable, and then we seek for approval
externally. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To feel the love.
And that builds a table on the or a leg on the table. One belief.
Yeah.
And then if you're not getting the approval, then you start the second leg you put on there is the unlovable.
Yeah.
If I don't get the approval, and then you go along through life. The third leg you start unlovable. The deep one you would start to create is that I must be ugly, I must be weird, I must be strange, I must be really messed up in the head here.
Yeah.
You know, all these things. And the fourth one that you start to build up about yourself is a lack of self-worth.
Yes, definitely.
And we could build a lot of legs of belief here.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. But that's not true. It is just a belief that one starts to believe about themselves.
Yeah.
And how they start to view the world. Now, depending on your experience, at a very young age, you be negative or positive, but the vast majority of it is negative.
Yeah.
And one keeps unconsciously living from that reality.
Yeah.
And if anyone tries to challenge that belief, you'll have two types of people that will, okay, yeah, I accept it, that's the truth, I'm going to change. But then, that's awesome. But then you'll have someone who wants to preserve that experience, that whole belief system, that whole unconscious reality, because they have identified themselves with the experience.
Yeah.
And identify themselves with the archetype victim or the archetype child.
Yeah.
And once you start identifying yourself with that, you're lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're fucked for the rest of your days.
Yeah. And I know so many of you, like, if you're women watching this and you want to have children, and when you're speaking about like the identification of something, when I went through that whole fertility journey, I started to identify myself with, because I was empty, I was not living my truth at all, so I had this persona, and I kind of became that woman who really wanted kids, and it didn't work.
You know, whatever religious belief or cultural belief you have is just a belief.
Yeah.
If it's serving you, if it's working for you, excellent. But if it's making your life miserable, well then you have to change that.
Yeah.
Rapidly.
Yeah. You taught me 3 very important questions. So you said, like, is this a belief system or is it the truth? Does it serve me? Am I being responsible? And those 3 questions, I thought they were really, really cool. I've been using them for a week, like every day on myself, and it works very good.
Yeah. And what has changed for you? What has radically changed now for you since you've changed your whole belief about yourself and coming into a deeper sense of who you are?
Well, I got another understanding when I actually said it in that way, because I knew before that things are a belief system, but when I started to ask myself that question, I was like, is this a belief or is it true? Then I always come up with the answer, it's a belief. And then when you understand it is just a belief, then all of a sudden you can like, okay, so how would I like to be here? Not who did I used to be, who am I here? And then just go with new thing, and then you're just creating something totally new, and you don't have to hang up on the old thing anymore. So the people who have come in my life in the last week, it's been very, very interesting.
Yeah.
What have happened.
Exactly.
and people who are mirroring my values and my truth. And that is a totally new experience in my life.
Yeah. So just on that, never ever compare yourself.
Yeah.
Because that has been the downfall.
Yeah.
For children. Up to a certain point, you're innocent, you grow up, the whole lot. But then parents start to compare.
Yeah.
The child builds up a whole belief system about themselves that impacts their whole life, right up to the last days. I'm not good enough, I'm comparing myself, insignificant.
Yeah.
It's a load of bull.
Yeah.
So parents have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Don't compare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, because that damages a person's spirit, their mind for the rest of their days. Always going around in comparison, in competition.
Yeah.
Compare. And when you absolutely are the unique self, there's nothing to compare to.
Exactly. And then we got come back to the authenticity, right? Because you're unique and you show that uniqueness. And that will bring the beauty out in this world.
Exactly, yeah. It becomes more creative, more fulfilling, more unpredictable, and more sacred.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the whole structure here is to stop this comparison.
And we always have a choice to stop that.
Absolutely, you have the willpower. Don't go along with this belief system. I had no choice to be born.
Yeah.
I didn't ask to be born.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So what are you going to do for the rest of your life? You're going around with that mentality, that belief system, playing the bloody victim? You have a choice.
Yeah. And when we really understand that we do, things really start to happen.
Yeah. But it requires absolute integrity and absolute action.
Yeah.
The most important thing about being authentic, step out of yourself and be of service and be true and ask yourself this question: is this in my highest good? Yes, it is. Clearly it will be in the highest good of another.
Yeah.
But leave self-interest out of it.
Yeah.
And to be authentic is to be free, to be truthful, to be passionate, to be fearless, and to inspire and lead by example. So what is being authentic? It's being free. Free from everything you were told. Free from the knowing. Reject what you were told. Find out for yourself what is true. Question everything.
Guys, there's so much wisdom in this video. you gotta watch it over and over and over again to really get like the good bits out, because there's so much in this. You can change like your whole world, literally. You can, because when you change yourself, your whole world is going to change around you. So shall we just say goodbye?
Yep, for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.